Hello, dear ones. Welcome to the Dream Lab, a safe, inspiring place for you and God to dream without limits what you most desire to be, do, and have in your life right now. Every episode, I hold space for you to be irreplaceably you, to explore your unique design and discover your dreams as a reflection of God's heart for the world around you. I am your host, your guide, your encourager-in-chief, Christina B. Come on in to the Dream Lab. Hey, it's Christina. Welcome to another episode of the Dream Lab podcast. I took a week off because I had a terrible head cold, but I am back in action this week, and you are in for a treat. This episode is all about vision and meditation. But before we get into that, I just wanted to give you a really fast recap of the ground that we have covered so far. In the last several episodes of the Dream Lab, I have been walking you through the Dream Lab workshop. And if you're not sure what that is, that goes all the way back to episode number 1. We have been talking about all the various aspects of the Dream Lab workshop. We talked about how stress affects your central nervous system and how messages travel primarily from your body to your brain 80% of the time. And in that episode, I also gave some ideas for how to bring calm to your central nervous system, because it's really hard to dream about an ideal future for your life when you are in fight or flight mode. When you're in survival mode, it's challenging to dream. In episode 5, we talked about how your imagination is your spiritual womb. That is a fantastic episode, which I highly recommend you go back and listen to. Our imagination as the spiritual womb, I can't say this word tonight, will go in the direction of our dominant thoughts. This is why we have to guard our hearts and really take thoughts captive. We can't just let our minds run wild, which is a terrible habit, which the modern world is plagued by, sadly. The first homework assignment in episode 6 was a journaling exercise where you were answering questions, looking back over your life to see how far you've come and to look for clues as to what made you the person you are today. The second homework assignment in episode 7, which was the last episode, was a journaling exercise answering questions from the perspective of the here and now. So if you journaled answers to those questions in those 2 homework assignments and you reviewed them with a friend, which is what I had suggested that you try doing. And if you're listening on YouTube, I know this is a lot of ifs. Leave me a note in the comments. I'm really curious to know how that went for you. And if you noticed any patterns, what came up. Okay, phew, that was a lot. You are now up to speed and as to where we have come from in the last 7 episodes of the Dream Lab. Because every episode, for right now anyway, is building upon the previous ones, definitely go back and check out those prior episodes. Okay, back to vision and meditation. We are all excellent meditators, whether we realize that or not. Do you know that worry is a form of meditation about all the things that could possibly go wrong? Yes, it's true. I know. I think if we're all honest, we have some issues with worry as a society, especially with things that are happening in the world right now. But before we go on, I just want to look at the dictionary definition of the word meditate. I often find just plain old dictionary definitions of words are incredibly helpful at steering a conversation about where we want to go. So let's look at the dictionary definition of the word meditate. To engage in thought or contemplation, to reflect or ponder over, to think deeply or focus one's mind for a period of time, to plan mentally, to consider, and to focus one's thoughts on. And in one of our prior episodes, we talked about how in the imagination is the spiritual womb, we talked about like our thought patterns, like our habitual thoughts actually can form the beliefs, which then create emotions. And this is how thoughts become things, which is why you have to be really careful what you meditate on, like what you're thinking on, your dominant thought patterns are, because you're going to bring that into your life. You're going to create that. Now let's look at the word vision. And when I say vision, I am not referring to seeing with your physical eyes. And again, we're going to use the dictionary definition of the word vision to inform our conversation today. Vision is the act or power of anticipating that which will or may come to be. Prophetic vision, or the vision of an entrepreneur, as an example. An experience in which a person, thing, or event appears vividly or credibly to the mind, although not actually present, often under the influence of a divine or other agency. A vivid imagination, a vivid imaginative conception or anticipation. To envision, to picture mentally, as in she tried to vision herself in a past century. The act or power of imagination, the mode of seeing or conceiving, unusual discernment or foresight. Something seen on those dimensions that are extra-physical, something seen other than by physical eyesight. An object of imaginative contemplation, power or activity of the imagination. Lastly, the ability to think about or plan the future with imagination or wisdom. While are some people who think in words, most of us actually think in pictures, and we might not even realize that. We'll do some practice exercises later on in this episode that will demonstrate this, where we will use our imaginations, aka your spiritual womb, to see images there. And the Bible is replete with people who had visions. So there is solid scriptural foundation for us to use our spiritual eyes to envision. For purposes of the Dream Lab, I wanted to take a look at a couple of definitions from other people about what vision is, like from a worldly perspective. And then I want to craft a definition. I did craft a definition of what I think vision is that I think really suits the Dream Lab very, very well. So firstly, in his book, Courageous Leadership, Bill Hybels says that vision is a picture of the future that produces passion. In Mentored by a Millionaire by Stephen K. Scott, he defines vision as a clearly defined dream, idea, goal, or objective, and a plan detailing the specific steps that must be taken to achieve it. So for our purposes, I kind of melded those two definitions together and tweaked the copy a little bit for our own purposes in the Dream Lab today. Vision is a vivid and credible picture of my ideal future that produces the necessary passion to create and implement a plan of actionable steps to make it real. Let me say that one more time. Vision is a vivid and credible picture of my ideal future that produces the necessary passion to create and implement a plan of actionable steps to make it real. We are about to start some practice exercises, but before we do, if you're driving, I just want to encourage you to pause this and come back to it later. In the Dream Lab, we use our imaginations to look and see what God would show us about our futures. Some people call this the heart screen, other people call it the mind's eye. Whatever word you want to use to describe it, this is the most creative part of ourselves. Our imaginations are very powerful tools, and what we meditate on there grows bigger. Habakkuk 2:1 says, I will stand on my watch and set me on the tower, and I will watch to see what he will say to me, which I think is fascinating that he would be looking with his spiritual eyes, I would assume, to hear what God would say to him. Proverbs 3:5-6 in the Amplified says, trust in and rely confidently on the Lord with all of your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, know and acknowledge and recognize him, and he will make your paths straight and smooth, removing obstacles that block your way. We're inviting God to be at the center of this process. So we are just going to trust. We're going to trust God to guide us as we yield our imaginations to him. Okay, so if you're driving, now's the time to pause and come back to this later. But before we start, if you want to just take a moment and do some deep breathing, we can do that. You can get relaxed and comfortable in your chair. And you can also, while we're doing the deep breathing, just take a moment and invite God into this process with you and yield your imagination. So while you're sitting in your chair with your feet comfortably on the floor, take a really deep breath in for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. I want you to open your eyes and hold up your right hand in front of your face. Look at both sides of your hand. Look at the palm, turn it over, look at the back of your hand. And now I want you to close your eyes and I want you to see your hand in your mind's eye. Can you see it? Let's try another one. With your eyes closed, I want you to picture an apple, a Granny Smith apple, bright green. Those are a little bit sour, so now I want you to bite into the apple and taste the tart flavor. Feel a drop of juice on your chin. Can you see it? Can you taste it? Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to picture a long stem red rose with a big open bloom. Bring the rose up to your nose and take a really deep breath in. Can you smell it? Now I want you to touch the petals. Rose petals have a really soft, almost velvety texture. Can you feel it? Now, with your eyes closed, I want you to picture your house or your apartment. I want you to feel your house key in your right hand. And I want you to imagine yourself standing at your front door, and you are now putting the key into the lock of your front door, and you're turning it. Open the door of your house and step inside. Can you see it? Now that you're inside, do you have a cat or a dog? And if you do, imagine your cat or dog in your mind's eye coming up to you to greet you. Bend over to pet your dog or cat. Now, if there are any of you who had trouble with that, I want you to just keep practicing that. Just keep practicing getting still and quiet and doing a few deep breaths and then envisioning anything. You can envision your car and having the keys in your hand and getting into the front seat of your car and opening your glove box to look for a napkin. You can picture the face of a loved one. You can picture the sunshine on a cloudless blue sky day while you're at the beach, and practice listening to the ocean waves. Just keep practicing that, and it will eventually come if you are one of the few who wasn't able to see anything. Now we're going to begin the journaling exercise or the visioning exercise that you will then journal, where you are picturing yourself living your ideal, fulfilled life that lacks nothing. As we begin this exercise, I want you to be thinking about what the word ideal means. An ideal for our purposes in the Dream Lab is a conception of something in its perfection. So this exercise is designed for the present perspective. What does it look like for you to live an ideal, fulfilled life that lacks nothing? This is not about forever, so I want you to take that pressure off of yourself. Life has seasons just like the weather, and we talked about that in one of our past episodes. Perhaps just think about it for the next 12 months. What would your ideal, fulfilled life that lacks nothing look like for the next 12 months? So as you relax with your eyes closed, I'm going to read a series of statements for you to ponder. Remember to remain relaxed and deep breathe as you listen. I am living my ideal, fulfilled life, lacking nothing. Your destiny is not your identity. You are a child of the true and living God, a masterful creation of infinite value, not for what you do, but for who and whose you are. God's love for you is not dependent upon you fulfilling your purpose or achieving anything. God's love for you is so unconditional and irrevocable perfect and complete. You were created for a love relationship with the Father, Son, and Spirit, to enjoy and be enjoyed, to delight in and be delighted in. It is from this place of perfect love that you are inspired to share the love of your Creator with others through the expression of your gifts, talents, dreams, and desires. As you envision living your ideal life that lacks nothing, I want you to keep these things in mind. Allow your vision to unfold. Let it lead you. Explore your vision with childlike curiosity. Don't judge what you see, and remember to keep breathing in and out as slowly as you can. I want you to imagine that you are living the life you've always dreamed of for the next 12 months, uniquely designed by your Creator just for you. You are doing what you love. You have a deep and abiding sense of fulfillment and contentment in every area of your life. I want you to contemplate each of these statements, and as I read them, make a mental note of the following. What are you doing? Who are you with? Where are you living? What is a typical day like? And how do you feel? Okay, here are the statements. I wake up in the morning excited to start my day. My day-to-day work uses my strengths, talents, skills, and experience to their maximum. I choose to partner with people who have strengths, talents, skills, and experience that I lack and happily empower them to do what they do so well. I experience health and vitality in my whole body. I point out the good things and I see in other people to build them up. I challenge my comfort zones on purpose regularly. Solutions to problems come to me easily. Creative inspiration follows me everywhere. Other people tell me they feel encouraged and inspired after they interact with me. My finances are thriving. I don't worry about money or provision because I know everything I need will come to me when I need it. I am a lifelong learner. I seek out opportunities to learn new things regularly. No matter what obstacle I face, I know everything is going to be okay. Fear and doubt do not hold me back. I give back to others in my time, money, and talent so they can live their dreams too. I have healthy, loving relationships with my friends and family. My friends and acquaintances speak well of me to their friends and family. I am a joyful and hopeful person. Others tell me that I am a joyful and hopeful person. I live each day in intimate communion with God, knowing I am unconditionally and irrevocably loved by the one who made me. When I make a mistake, I own it, learn from it, and share this wisdom with others. I love myself and the way God made me. I do what I love and I love what I do. I have more than enough mental, physical, and emotional energy to finish my day. I have everything I have ever wanted in my life. I am living the life I've always dreamed of, the life God designed me to live. I go to bed at night with a smile on my face and a feeling of gratitude that I partnered with God to do wonderful things today, to be an expression of love and compassion, and I can't wait until tomorrow so that I can do what I love another day. Spend another moment in your vision just to capture every last detail. Don't judge anything yet. Just let the vision lead you. Now you can open your eyes and begin to write what you saw in your vision. Again, I advise you to write with your hand in an actual notebook because it will slow down your brain and force you to capture details that I think will be really important and inform who you are and what your true heart's desires are. You may choose to write a narrative, in the first person story format describing a typical day in your ideal fulfilled life, or you can just describe, a brief answer to some of those questions. If you can capture all of the questions, that would be great. I think that'd be really helpful. But like Habakkuk, you're going to write down everything you saw. What are you doing? Who are you with? Where are you living? What is a typical day like? How do you feel? Most of the people who have done the Dream Lab workshop have chosen to write a narrative that tells a story. But as you write, doesn't matter what you write, if you write in bullet points or if you actually write a full story, I want you to pay attention to your thoughts, in your emotions, and your body sensations as you write the vision. Well, there you have it. That is this episode of the Dream Lab podcast. I hope you enjoyed using your vision to see your ideal future for the next 12 months. If you are listening on Apple or Spotify, please consider leaving me a rating or review. It really, really helps, especially since this podcast is in its early stages of growing. If you're listening on YouTube, please leave me a comment about your experience. Did you do the journaling exercise? And if you did, how did it turn out? What did you notice? And if you loved this episode and you know someone who would benefit from it, please send it to them. Until next time, bye for now.